So let's rank all the flicks I rewatched for the month of June 2022 right now. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings my fellow YouTubers and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name's Doyle, better known to you as the Big D. Back again with another ranking. This time it's going to be my June 2022 rewatches. Now for the rewatches, I watched 40 flicks and what have you. Yeah, some of them are going to be big surprises, some of them might not be big surprises. But hey, I'm fine with all of these films. So anyway, with the first 35, I'm going to try and do my best and go rapid fire on the first 35, so that way I don't make the video completely long, completely, okay? And then talk on the final 5, alright? Alright, let's get on with this. If you're ready, let's get on with the rankings. Sit back, relax, and here we go. Number 40 is Problem Child 3 from 1995. This made-to-TV sequel was, well, it's okay. It does have a few fun moments. Just so many different changes to the cast and what have you. And the only ones from the first two that returned were Gilbert Gottfried and Jack Warden. This film's okay. It's not really the best, but I've seen all the Problem Child flicks, and they will be shown on this ranking. Again, this one's okay. It's also known as Problem Child 3 Junior in Love. Number 39 is Gone in 60 Seconds from 2000. This film I hadn't watched in so long. I know this didn't get a lot of good response, and, well, it did okay at the box office. I mean, Nicolas Cage was real good, and this is probably the only film I liked, Blondelina. Yeah, that's funny, right? Okay, I'm just playing with y'all. The blonde version of Angelina Jolie, you know. Everyone else wasn't too bad. Angelina was pretty good. It did have a few downsides, so maybe I'll defend this film sometime. I don't know if I will defend it or not, but just stay tuned. Number 38 is Stepfather 3 from 1992. This direct-to-TV sequel is, well, okay and what have you. It may have a different person playing the main character who undergoes surgery and what have you, plastic surgery, and takes a new form. Even so, it's okay. You will see the other two Stepfather films on the ranking, because I watched all of them along with the Problem Child films on Father's Day. Anyway, Stepfather 3 isn't too bad. Number 37 is The Sixth Day from 2000. This film didn't do too well at the box office and was kind of a bit of a disappointment, especially for its big star, Arnold Schwarzenegger. This film is kind of in a way a guilty pleasure. I do have it on video, but I hadn't seen it in years until I encountered it on Tubi last month. I rewatched it, and it's still good in some ways. It's not really one of Schwarzenegger's best, though, but it's still an okay film, though. I like its action, that it takes place in the future and what have you. And with having cloning and what have you, yeah. Number 36 is John Carpenter's Vampires from 1998. I had almost forgotten that I had seen this film before, but it was a long time ago, so I decided to give it a rewatch. It's not too bad. It is kind of an underrated film. It's got some pretty bloody moments. I think maybe I'll review this in October for Spooktacular October. We're having some pretty good, well, performances in ways from James Woods and Daniel Baldwin. Yeah. This film's kind of good in ways. I'm not sure if I recall seeing its direct-to-TV or video sequel, Los Muertos. If I did, well, you might see it on one of these rankings one day. Number 35 is Problem Child from 1990. This film is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, with it having so many funny moments. Like John Ritter and Michael Oliver Jr., he's absolutely funny. I liked Gilbert Gottfried, may he rest in peace, as Mr. Peabody. Yeah, this film is pretty funny. It may not have got on with the audience, but it was still a bit of a success, though. Pretty funny. Number 34 is Minions from 2015. This, of course, is a sequel slash spin-off of Despicable Me, which we'll see where that winds up. I recently did a review of this. This film has its moments. It's pretty funny. It may not gotten that big of a good response like the first two Despicable Me movies did, but still, it has some fun moments and what have you. It's pretty funny. I did watch the brand new one. If you haven't seen my review of it yet, that's already done pretty darn well. The first Minions isn't too bad. Number 33 is Boys Don't Cry from 1999. Now, this is another film I have on video, but I haven't watched this film in years. This is one LGBTQ what have you film I like and what have you. Hilary Swank is absolutely really good in this, so is Chloe Sevigny. Yeah. I know I kind of missed out on doing something with this scene for Pride Month last month, but maybe I'll make up for it sometime down the road. I mean, this is just one of those films in that genre I do like and what have you. Don't get me wrong and don't hate me for saying this, okay? Number 32 is Pixels from 2015. This film kind of didn't get much response either, considering it was, well, probably one of the last, well, funny flicks that Adam Sandler did to come to the box office. But anyway, this film would serve as a guilty pleasure, even though I've only seen it like 3 times. I went and saw this in theaters, and this was pretty funny. And Chris Columbus directed this, the same guy who did Home Alone and Home Alone 2, yeah. I mean, I like how they made the video game characters appear like Pac-Man and the Galaxian Galaga creatures and what have you. Yeah, and Cuber as well, yeah. This film I think is pretty underrated though. Number 31 is House on Haunted Hill from 1999. This, of course, is the remake of the 1959 horror classic. This one is more frightening, what have you. The first film to be done by Dark Castle Entertainment. It does have a pretty good cast that includes Jeffrey Rush, let's see, Ollie Lauder, and Chris Kattan, Famke Janssen, and a host of others. This film's so underrated. I love this movie. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure everybody likes the classic one. I've seen the original a few times. It's pretty good, too. But this one was what I saw first. Number 30 is Con Air from 1997. This film's pretty good and what have you. I recently did a review of this. It did pretty well on my channel. Nicolas Cage is really good in this. I like the performances from mostly our cast, including John Cusack and John Malkovich. I think this one's a pretty cool flick and what have you, with some really exciting moments and what have you. All the stuff you can get from an action flick. Number 29 is Problem Child 2 from 1991. I kind of love this a little more than the first one. Well, even though this got PG-13 rating instead of PG like its predecessor, but this was more crazy and what have you. John Ritter and Michael Oliver, once again, great as Mr. Healy and Jr. I like Trixie. She's absolutely a real meanie and what have you. But even so, it has a lot of fun, crazy moments. Number 28 is Brightburn from 2019. This film's really good. This is a superhero slash horror flick. I love it. It's pretty intense in some parts and what have you. This kid who's from another planet, and he uses his powers to cause some real chaos, especially as people who are threatening him in ways. So this kind of reminds me, has a little bit of a mix of like, I don't know, kind of like a superhero movie meets The Omen or something like that. Even so, Brightburn's pretty awesome. Number 27 is Stepfather 2 from 1989. After the first film was a pretty big success, Terry O'Quinn returned in this sequel, and I enjoyed this just as much as the first one. It's kind of tough to decide where if this was tops or the first one. But anyway, Stepfather 2 is awesome. I liked how the story goes and what have you. And most of the supporting cast isn't too bad either. Especially seeing Caroline Williams, who, of course, I saw her in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and Leprechaun 3. Yeah, Stepfather 2, it's good. Number 26 is Little Nicky from 2000. Now, I know a lot of people don't like this movie, but I do. I say Little Nicky's easily a guilty pleasure of mine. Adam Sandler's absolutely really funny. I mean, it does have its moments, but still, it has a lot of fun. I did. Don't hate me for saying I liked Harvey Keitel's performance as, well, the devil himself. Rodney Dangerfield playing his dad and what have you. Oh boy, really something. This film's too underrated. I definitely gotta defend this film. If I have some room for this, maybe I'll do this for Spooktacular October. Stay tuned, and we'll see. Number 25 is Despicable Me 2 from 2013. This film did pretty well. I mean, while I do like, again, what have you, I don't know if I consider this to be my third favorite or second favorite, but hey, I've seen this a few times, and it's funny. I mean, and the bad guy isn't too bad either. This film's just so good. I will try and make up for lost time for missing out on reviewing this in the third one later in the month if you haven't seen my schedule vid. Number 24 is The Family Man from 2000. I hadn't seen this film in years. This is a really good Nicolas Cage film. I mean, he plays this guy who, well, wakes up one day and finds out the life he could have had, even though he's, well, kind of a rich and famous person or, well, big time businessman. Well, you know what I'm saying. If you haven't seen this film, I think this is just one good flick. I'll definitely need to review this. He and Tia Leone are really good in this. Number 23 is Lilo and Stitch from 2002. Now, this is another film I had originally intended to review last month for its 20th anniversary and failed because my laptop was under repairs and what have you. But I'll make up for that because you might have heard I am going to try and review it this month. This film's pretty good. And I gotta say, it's got some fun moments. Number 22 is Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues from 2013. Now, this film's is pretty funny in ways. I have seen both the theatrical and the R-rated cut of this. It's almost as funny as its predecessor. I still like Will Ferrell as Ron Burgundy. Everyone else is pretty good. Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, David Koechner, of course Christina Applegate. Yeah, they're all very funny. Yeah, and they're a good battle of news teams and what have you. We'll see where the first Anchorman winds up later on. Number 21 is Spider-Man 3 from 2007. Now, I recently re-reviewed this film back in May to commemorate the 15th anniversary of this. This film is a guilty pleasure, and while it's my least favorite of the Sam Raimi trilogy, but overall, it still has fun moments and what have you. At least with a little good and bad side in spite, I gotta say, I kind of would rather watch this over Superman 3 any day. I do like Sandman, but them, alright, but not great though. Number 20 is Despicable Me 3 from 2007. Now, this kind of got mixed and what have you, but I think it was pretty funny. I liked Gru's brother and what have you. He's pretty funny. The bad guy, who was voiced by Trey Parker of South Park fame, was pretty good. I gotta say, I kind of like this just a wee bit more than the second one, but hey, you don't have to take my word for it. You be the judge and what have you. I will make up for this, for missing out on this review later on this month as well. Number 19 is The Stepfather from 1987. I love this film. This is a great suspense horror flick and what have you. Terry O'Quinn is really good in this. Jill Schoelen's really good in this. Of course, she would be a big-time scream queen. I say this is probably my favorite of the three Stepfather films. I have seen the remake, which had an okay cast, including a, well, younger Amber Turd. But I doubt I'll watch that remake again. I'll stick with the original. Number 18 is How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World from 2019. Now, I do like this. This is a really great film from DreamWorks and what have you. This would be DreamWorks' first film to be distributed by Universal after being with Fox. Anyway, this was a great way to end the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. You will see the other two films on here. I am going to review this trilogy later on this year because I think this year's the anniversary of the first film, but I could be wrong. But stay tuned. This film is really, really good. Number 17 is Star Wars: The Last Jedi from 2017. I do like this film. It has its moments, but it's still pretty good in some ways. Now, I re-reviewed the new trilogy last month, and those reviews did well, except for maybe the Force Awakens. Those my reviews of this and Rise of Skywalker's re-reviews have done much better than the original reviews I did. Anyway, still got some pretty good intense action sequences. It does have a few slow moments in what have you, but overall, it's still good in some ways. Number 16 is Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy from 2004. And this film is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. I had the unrated cut of it, but I'm long over that. But I watched the theatrical version. Only the second time I saw the theatrical cut, and I realized it's better and what have you. But you don't have to hate me or take my word for it. This film's absolutely funny. This is probably one of my favorite Will Ferrell flicks. I loved his performance as Ron Burgundy. Everyone else is really good too. It has great music as well. Same thing with the sequel. I forgot to mention that. I definitely gotta review this one, Number 15 is How to Train Your Dragon 2 from 2014. Now, I think this film's really good too. I mean, though it does provide a real good villain, what have you. But anyway, I still do like the first one. That's still ahead, but everyone in this film is just so awesome. I love the voice acting and what have you, just like the third one and the first one. Again, still ahead. But this is a really great sequel. Number 14 is Toy Story 3 from 2010. Great film. I do love it. You will see the others on here. But anyway, I don't consider it to be my least favorite. I just kind of still like it. And it has some fun moments. Most of the new characters are pretty good too, but it still has that same good feel and what have you. Just when the toys are accidentally sent to this here daycare. Yeah, but it's still pretty fun though, and does have some heartfelt moments. Number 13 is Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker from 2019. One of the last few good flicks to be big before the pandemic even struck the following year. But anyway, I still can understand why people were mixed on this and why have you. But even so, this was a pretty exciting, epic finale to the new series. But you don't have to take my word for it. But still, I gotta say, everyone in this was pretty good, though. Number 12 is Spider-Man 2 from 2004. Now, although it's my favorite of the Sam Raimi trilogy, I kind of had to have it a little low because it had been some time since I last saw the original one. But this film's so awesome. I love it. Alfred Molina's great as Doc Ock. Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst, they're still good. Everyone was good. And what can I say? It's still one of my favorites. And still has its moments. Number 11 is The New Adventures of Pippi Longstocking from 1988. I love this movie. I love Tammy Aaron as Pippi. Yeah, she is just so incredible. The rest of the cast is pretty good. I love the songs and the music, especially the main song, Pippi Longstocking's Coming to Your Town. Yeah, this song's stuck in my head, but I love it. This movie's so underrated. I think if you've never seen this film, you gotta check it out. My review for this film that I think I did a couple of years ago, that's already done so well. Number 10 is Toy Story 4 from 2019. Yeah, this film isn't too bad. Well, I do have kind of a little bit of a draw between this and the third one, but this one's still pretty good, and a pretty good finale and what have you. I think most people felt it should have ended with the third one, but hey, it's alright. I'm cool with this one too. Most of the new characters were pretty good in this. Number 9 is Despicable Me from 2010. This is the first film from Illumination. I have to say, I do love this film. I've only seen it a few times, but I love it. I love Steve Carell's performance as Gru. Everyone else is really good too. If you have not seen my review for this film, then you need to watch it. That's all I'm going to tell you. Number 8 is Star Wars The Force Awakens from 2015. Now, this was kind of a surprise. I know most people like or don't like the new trilogy, but hey, I'm understanding. I did review this film, and it's doing okay. But anyway, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I liked some of the new characters. They still brought back a few of the old ones. And this film is just a pretty good way to start off a new story and what have you in the Skywalker saga. Number 7 is Dick from 1999. Now, this film didn't do too well at the box office, but I love this movie. This is absolutely funny about two girls who get involved in the Watergate scandal. Kirsten Dunst and Michelle Williams are absolutely really funny as the two girls. If you've never seen this film, this is one film I'd highly recommend. It's absolutely funny. This is one funny White House satire. Number 6 is Stargirl from 2020. I love this movie. This was one of the first films I watched on Disney Plus when I got it. I was blown by it. This film was so amazing. Grace Vanderwaal is absolutely incredible as the title character. Everyone else was really good too, and I loved a lot of the songs they featured in the film. Boy, and I watched this before I watched Hollywood Stargirl, which topped my first time watches for last month. If you have not seen my ranking yet, you should, but I'll leave that in the video suggestions at the end of the video. So good this film is. I sure do hope you've been sticking with me through this video so far. Alright, I've gone through the first 35, now to the final 5, which will include, well, 3 animated films, one big hit that celebrated 40 years last month, and one that just recently turned 20 back in May. Which one of these is going to be tops? Well, just stay tuned and find out. Anyway, I'm really love doing these rankings and what have you of what I've seen in for the first time or rewatched. Anyway, I hope you're ready for the final 5. If you're ready, let's get into this. Coming in at number 5 is How I Train Your Dragon from 2010. Also, yeah, I made an error and what have you, so I thought its anniversary was this year. I made an error, so I do apologize for that. But I'll make up for lost time and review this trilogy maybe sometime later on down the road. I think How to Train Your Dragon was really good, and another really good film from DreamWorks. This was the start of yet another trilogy to go alongside some of their other big franchises like Shrek, Madagascar, and Kung Fu Panda. Well, Kung Fu Panda wasn't a trilogy yet. And Madagascar was coming close, though. But anyway, I love the performances from the cast and what have you. The characters are really good. I like Hiccup and Astrid and all the other human characters. Toothless is a really good dragon. I think this is just so much fun. Again, I will review this series later on down the road. Trust me, How to Train Your Dragon, it's a fun flick. Now coming in at number 4 is Spiderman from 2002. Now, I recently did a re-review of this back in May, but I finally got to see it again on Peacock, along with the second and third ones, but I had those on DVD. But anyway, this film still got it, which, please don't hate me for having this over number 2, because while number 2 is still my favorite of them all, but this one I hadn't seen in some time, so that's why I put it up there, because I had a lot of nostalgia for this. And it was also the second film I actually went and saw in the theater alone after bringing it on. Because I chose to watch this over the Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood. But anyway, Spider-Man's just so awesome. I enjoyed it. And was recently a real big surprise that we got to see Tobey Maguire back as Spidey in Spider-Man No Way Home last year. Really good. Tobey Maguire's good as Spidey. Like Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco. Everybody in this was really good. So anyway, Spider-Man is definitely one great film and probably one of my main favorite superhero flicks. Now coming in at number 3 is Toy Story from 1995. Love this movie. This, of course, was the film that put Pixar on the map. The first attempt with Disney. This was the big breakthrough in computer animation, and I absolutely love it. I love the characters and what have you. Woody, Buzz, Mr. Potato Head, Slinky, and Rex. Yeah, every character in this was so incredible. I really love the story, and we're having so many fun moments and what have you. Pizza Planet, the claw machine with the toy aliens was really funny. Oh wow, this was just so incredible. Probably one of my favorite animated features and what have you. And is easily one of my top 5 favorite Disney Pixar films of them all. I definitely gotta try and rank all those one day. I mean, now Lightyear's out. I watched all of those films to promote Lightyear. Anyway, and now the final 2. This was a tough decision to make because we got 2 great films. So coming in at number 2 is E.T. the Extraterrestrial from 1982. This was a childhood favorite of mine. I love it. And of course, I did a 40th anniversary review of it last month. It's done okay. Probably not as good as I hoped for, but it's okay. At least I think some of my fellow YouTubers know that I've still got some respect for this Spielberg classic. I love the performances we got from everyone, including Henry Thomas, young Drew Barrymore, Dee Wallace, everyone. Really good. But E.T. himself was just the big star of this and what have you, and I really love it. Because the story was just so amazing. I love the score from John Williams. Everything in this was just so awesome, just like I remember. Anyway, E.T.'s so good. I do love it. And coming in at number 1, my number 1 rewatch of June 2022 is Toy Story 2 from 1999. I love this movie. This is my favorite of the Toy Story franchise. I mean, when involving Woody and what have you, encountering some characters from a TV show he never knew he was a part of. Wow. Just so incredible. I loved all those characters. I mean, Jesse's a good character. Bullseye's a pretty good character. Well, despite it took a turn for the worse for this guy, the prospector, Stinky Pete, yeah. Anyway, Toy Story 2 is just such an awesome movie, and I really do love it. It's really a fun flick. Enough said about it. Oh yeah, and the Woody's Roundup theme song from Riders in the Sky, yeah, that's pretty good too. Alright, enough said. So that's it. My June 2022 rewatches ranking is completed. So what did you think of this ranking? What did you rewatch in June of 2022? Tell me what's your top fave, or maybe your top 3, whatever. Just tell me in the comment section below. If you like this, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a re-review of Thor. which I'll be doing the trilogy in order to promote the release of Thor: Love and Thunder, opening in theaters this Friday. So thanks for watching, and if you like this, consider checking out my reviews for the top 2 films. In the upper left-hand corner is the re-review I did on Toy Story 2. The upper right-hand corner is my review of E.T. Or if you didn't catch this, or if you'd like to see it again, go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my June first time watches ranking for this year. And the bottom right-hand corner is a button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.